green light means it has signal.
So it's
So
missing
it's not
something.
getting signal. For what that's worth.
I sent you the presentation. Okay.
All right.
I thought I would help by bringing up some of the stuff.
You want to drop the heat? Student living?
Well, I already dropped it to 65 in here. What's wrong with that
That
one?
thing is just like a placebo. It's just there to make you think it's going to do
Oh,
something.
yeah. Fine. It doesn't make sense, does it?
I'm having a tough time with them right now because they put all the closets on the schedule.
Oh, did they?
That was bad because they're overheating.
Uh-oh. Well, you need to tell them that it
I
would do
did
that.
open that meeting this morning.
This is just a regular board
She's
meeting
not
right
here,
here.
It's a committee of the whole.
but I told her
Committee of
it's
the whole.
partner in crime, and she was like, well, he'll have to decide on that.
No, you can't. That is something that should be discussed with you guys first because.
He keeps doing
All right,
things like
Drew,
that.
I'm plugging in down here.
Don't hit the power button. Then it'll be an issue.
I'm not gonna hit the power button.
We need to hold save, share. Test, test, test. Hello, hello, hello.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone to our Committee of the Whole meeting, 5:03 p.m., March 10, 2026. Would we please stand? At this moment, I'd like to ask everyone to close their eyes and offer thoughts to the deity to whom you serve, asking us to make sure that we are mindful and respectful and do the work to better serve our children and our community. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. We will have our mission statement read to us by the Bells Elementary School Beta Club. Come on down, little ones.
County School District will prepare every student to graduate with a 21st century education to be globally competitive for their chosen college and career path.
Wonderful. And can you tell us, and would you like to tell us a little bit about the Beta Club at Bells?
Hi, my name is Carrington Allen. I attend Bells Elementary School. I am Vice President of the Beta Club. You may be wondering what was the Beta Club's experience at the convention, because you're about to find out. This year's theme was Wired for Success. We're able to see other students' amazing artwork and performances, so we can do way more next time. Now I'm going to let my peers show what they mean.
This was the jewelry that was turned into the Beta Club convention.
So at the Beta Club convention that we attended for the state, there are all different kinds of competitions. So that's what they're showing you with some of the things that they entered into the, it was mostly the visual arts, but now that we've seen it, they're excited and there are all kinds of other opportunities they want to try for next year, but that's what they're showing off is some of the things they entered.
Wonderful. Thank you all very much.
This is the shirt and purse that we made.
Awesome.
This is the award for the skit for the state Beta Club, National Beta Club Convention state. We got 4th place in the skit.
Very good.
One of our members that wasn't able to be here tonight actually ran for the state president position. So that was what, this was part of that. They did a skit and then she did a speech in front of the whole convention and they got to bring this home. So they were very proud of that.
That's awesome.
Wonderful. And we see your proud principal back there. Good evening, Ms. Ferguson. All right, if my colleagues would join me in the civility pledge. I pledge to build a stronger and more effective school board by advocating for civil engagement, respecting others and their viewpoints, and finding solutions for the betterment of my school district. 1.06, approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second that we accept the agenda as printed. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Please let it reflect that all 6 present members agreed. 1 member is absent right now, and we will go on from there. Number 2, Chairman's Report. I again wanted to take a moment to congratulate our superintendent and her, I'd call them crew, but her staff, that did a wonderful presentation at the South Carolina School Board Association meeting. Everyone came up to us afterwards and really was impressed with their presentation, with the achievements our county has made under her leadership and their leadership. And I'm again very proud of them, and thank you for representing Colleton County so well. I'd also like to remind everyone on the panel, on the board, that the day at the Capitol is April 22nd, 2026. If you have not gotten in touch with Ms. Hyman about it, please do so forthwith so that she can make, okay? Moving on, please, recognitions. Every member of Team Colleton works for kids and makes important contributions toward becoming a world-class school system. Superintendent Williams.
Thank you, Chair Nixon, and I'd like to say good evening to everyone. Good evening to our staff. I see all of our directors are here. Thank you, Ms. Learson, for filling in for Dr. Durden tonight. And I also see our staff members here, our administrators, parents, community members. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. As I always say, this is the best part of our board meetings, when we get a chance to recognize our staff and our students for their achievements. So we're going to get started, and we're going to start with our above and beyond staff tonight, and we're going to start with Bells Elementary School. And tonight we are recognizing Miss LaPuz, our resource teacher at Bells Elementary School. If you would come forward at this time. So, Ms. LaPuz, and your principal is here, Principal Ferguson. This is what she submitted on your behalf. And it says, Mrs. LaPuz is a dedicated and exceptional member of our staff whose commitment to students and our school community consistently goes above and beyond what is expected. She approaches every day with enthusiasm, compassion, and a genuine desire to help each student succeed. Whether she is providing extra support, creating a positive and welcoming environment, or stepping in wherever she's needed, she brings an unmatched level of care and professionalism. Her reliability, kindness, and willingness to exceed expectations make her an invaluable part of our team. And her impact on students and staff is felt every single day. So let's give another round of applause to Ms. LaPuz. Just stay, right there. Now we're going to move to Blackstreet Early Childhood Center, and we are recognizing tonight Miss Christy Crosby, the Power School clerk at Blackstreet. Okay, she's not here tonight. We're going to move on to Cottageville Elementary School, and I do see Principal Allen here, if you would wave your hands. Miss Allen. And tonight we're going to recognize Miss Maria Guzman, 4th grade teacher at Cottageville. Congratulate you, Miss Guzman. I just remember when we were at Cottageville with the town hall meetings there, Ms. Guzman and a few other teachers, they said, we love Cottageville. They were just singing Cottageville's praises. So I'm going to read what Ms. Principal Allen submitted on your behalf. So, Maria Guzman consistently goes above and beyond to support her students and colleagues. She brings creativity and innovation into her classroom by transforming lessons into engaging experiences. One example is when she becomes Steve Harvey and leads her students in a lively Family Feud style review game, making learning interactive, memorable, and fun while reinforcing academic standards. Mrs. Guzman is also a dedicated team player who is always willing to encourage and support others, stepping in whenever help is needed. She is a strong part of the glue that holds fourth grade together. She takes on extra tasks when needed. In addition, she took the initiative to lead the school's club program, which has become a tremendous success and has increased student engagement across the school. Through her innovation, leadership, and commitment to students and staff, Ms. Guzman truly exemplifies what it means to go above and beyond at Cottageville Elementary School. Let's give her another round of applause. Next, we're going to move on to Forest Hills Elementary School, and tonight we are recognizing Miss Marilyn Williams, the media specialist at Forest Hills. And Miss Williams and I go way back. Congratulations, Miss Williams. I won't tell how old we are. Okay, so Miss Williams, this is what Principal Guarino wrote on your behalf. Principal Guarino? Is he here? Okay, he's not here tonight. So he wrote, Mrs. Williams truly goes above and beyond in her dedication to literacy and our students at Forest Hills Elementary School. She organized and coordinated a wonderful scholastic book fair, creating an engaging, student-centered experience that brought excitement and joy around reading to our entire school community. From planning and logistics to family communication and daily operations, she ensured every detail was handled seamlessly. In addition, Mrs. Williams leads our Accelerated Reader Initiative with passion and consistency, motivating students to set goals, celebrate growth, and develop a lifelong love of reading. Her commitment to fostering literacy and creating meaningful opportunities for students to succeed makes a lasting impact on the forest. So let's give Ms. Williams another round of applause. All right, next we're moving to Hendersonville Elementary, and I know I saw Miss Edwards come in. Miss Edwards, raise your hand. So we are now recognizing Miss Deanne Clark. Miss Deanne Clark, teacher at Hendersonville. Let's give her a round of applause as she comes forward. So, Miss Clark, this is what Principal Edwards wrote on your behalf. Miss Clark is a third grade teacher from Jamaica who, while new to our school community, brings a wealth of experience in education. She has already made a meaningful impact by organizing and launching a Math Bee for students in grades 3 through 5. Creating an engaging opportunity to strengthen mathematical skills and build academic confidence across grade levels. When our 5th grade teacher became ill, Ms. Clark immediately stepped in to support our 5th grade students with math instruction, ensuring continuity of learning during a challenging time. Her flexibility and initiative and unwavering commitment to students exemplify true teamwork. She is, without question, a dedicated educator and valued team player who consistently goes above and beyond for our students. Let's give Ms. Clark, teacher at Hendersonville, another round of applause. All right, now we're going to move on to Northside Elementary School, and we are recognizing Mr. Kendra Hires, PE teacher at Northside. Because he was recognized before for doing such a great job in athletics. So, yes, good to see you here again. And I do know that Ms. Behe is here. If you would Wave your hands, Ms. Behe. So I'm going to read what Ms. Behe submitted on your behalf, Mr. Hires. Coach Hires consistently goes above and beyond his role as the school's physical education teacher by supporting the overall success of the school in many ways. In addition to providing engaging and meaningful instruction in PE, Mr. Hires regularly steps in to assist in the main office during busy mornings to ensure students and families are greeted and supported as they arrive. Mr. Hires also takes time to build strong relationships with students, often serving as a mentor and positive role model. He is always willing to lend a helping hand wherever needed, demonstrating a strong commitment to the school community and the well-being of students. His willingness to support multiple areas of the school and his dedication to students truly exemplifies what it means to go above and beyond. Mr. Hires' positive attitude, teamwork, and reliability make a meaningful impact on the daily operations and culture of Northside Elementary School. Let's give Mr. Hires another round of applause. No, he's my neighbor as well. So now we're going to move on to Colleton County Middle School. And I think I see Mr. Peoples in the back, Mr. Peoples. And tonight from Colleton County Middle School, we are recognizing Miss Kim Willis, 7th grade secretary at Colleton County Middle School. Come on down. I'll say this while Miss Willis is coming up, but Miss Willis and I go way back too. We won't tell our age, but we worked together for a long time at Forest Hill. So
Exactly.
congratulations.
Forest Hills.
Yes, ma'am. All right. So, Ms. Willis, this is what Mr. Peoples wrote on your behalf. Mrs. Willis is definitely a candidate who consistently goes above and beyond in her role. While her title may be floor secretary, she serves in many capacities that support the daily operations of our school. She often steps in as a teacher when we are short on substitutes, ensuring that instruction continues without disruption. She also serves as a PBSS, helping students work through conflicts and challenges in a positive way. In addition, Mrs. Willis assists with maintaining a safe and orderly environment by monitoring hallways and helping with overall school security. She is truly our eyes and ears, always stepping in where needed and keeping administration informed. Her willingness to keep wherever she is needed makes her an invaluable part of the team. Mrs. Willis plays a critical role in helping the day-to-day operations of 7th grade run smoothly, and we are incredibly grateful for her dedication. She is truly a servant leader who is always willing to support both students and staff in any way she can. So let's give Ms. Kim Willis another round of applause. And now we're going to move on to Colleton County High School. And I don't see Ms. Bodison. Is Ms. Bodison here? Okay, she's not here. But we are recognizing tonight Ms. Toysia Bennett, the Positive Behavior Support Specialist. Okay, she's not here. Let's give her a round of applause. All right, we're going to move on to TCTC. And Mr. Kubik, I see he's here in the back. And we are recognizing Mr. Jerry Edens, the welding teacher. Let's give him a hand as he comes on down. And Mr. Edens, as you come up, I want to say congratulations to you. Thank you. And I'm going to read what Director Kubik sent on your behalf. Mr. Edens has been diligently involved in getting his welding students the experiences they need to be successful in a career in welding. He has continued our partnership with the Colleton County Fire Rescue Station 19 in providing real work-based learning experiences in the students' construction of a fire training facility. In addition, Mr. Edens offers his many years of welding experience to adult learners after school at our neighboring technical college of the Low Country. Let's give Mr. Edens a round of applause. All right, next we're going to move to Colleton Adult Learning Center, and I think that will be our last one for tonight. So tonight we're going to recognize Miss Martha Adams, the receptionist at Colleton Adult Learning Center. And Mr. Horvath is here, and if you would raise your hand, and I'm going to call Mr. Horvath up in just a few minutes, okay? I'm going to read what you submitted first, all right? And Miss Martha, congratulations. All right, so this is what was presented on Miss Martha Adams' behalf. Miss Martha Adams has positively impacted adult education students and staff for more than 20 years. Actually, would you like to do this, Mr. Horvath? Or you want me to do this and then you'll follow me? Okay, that's fine. Miss Martha Adams has positively impacted adult education students and staff for more than 20 years through her unwavering dedication and service. Before becoming the sole receptionist at the Colleton Adult Learning Center, Ms. Adams taught adult basic education classes at Colleton Industries, the Walterboro Senior Citizen Center, the Green Pond Senior Citizen Center, and the Colleton Adult Learning Center. Throughout her teaching career, she has helped countless adults learn to read, strengthen their math skills, and build the confidence needed to achieve their goals. Many of her students went on to successfully pass the GED test and earn their South Carolina high school diploma. Ms. Adams remains deeply committed to both the staff and students of Calc. In recent years, she can be found at the center from 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. Notice what I said, 8 a.m. until 8 p.m. Warmly greeting Colletonians as they take the courageous step to continue their lifelong learning journey. Her dedication, compassion, and steadfast support have made a lasting difference in the lives of so many in our community. And let's give Miss Martha Adams, I remember you. I'm going to call Mr. Horvath now for a special recognition.
And thank you, Mrs. Williams, and everyone. Martha's been in education for longer than those 20 years, of course, but as I grow older, it is remarkable to see the folks that commit during the night, the weekend, whenever we need someone. And Martha, you're the epitome of that. A principal asked me what I will always tell someone about Colleton County School District, and that is that I have made lasting professional relationships that I will have and remember for the rest of my life, and that's worth more than all the pay that I've ever received, and it is such an honor to know you. So you keep the pendulum swinging at adult education. So we just wanted to present you with this clock. I'll show it to you, and then I'll hold on to it for you and take it back to the office.
Before we move any further, do our honorees tonight have any family members that are here with them? If you would please stand, family members, friends. Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure we had that opportunity. Now we're going to take pictures, and then we'd like for you to go and shake our board members' hands, okay?
You can read my hand.
Thank you, Ms. Adams. Appreciate you. Thank you, Mr. Hughes, for all that you do. We appreciate you as well. We got the yellow room. Just the pollen, right? Coach, it's nice to see you again. Thank you for all that you do. So nice to see you.
Again, coaches, congratulations.
It was sweet. We appreciate it. I miss seeing you. It's that pollen that got you.
How you doing?
I'm so sorry.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you for all that you do in Hendersonville.
Congratulations. How's your son doing?
He's fine. He's in charge.
Okay, good.
Okay. And again, I'd like to congratulate all of our honorees this evening for the jobs that you do. Congratulations on doing it. Moving on, is there any old business we need to discuss? Superintendent Williams? Any new business we need to discuss? Superintendent Williams? No? All right, moving on then to the policy items. For the first reading, I'd like to ask our policy chair to please guide us through this section, these 4 policies.
Thank you, Chairman Nixon. Ms. Hannah, are you with us? Attorney Hannah?
I'm with you, yes.
Oh, great. Let me turn you on so everybody else can hear you. Check, check. Can you hear us now? Can you say something, Allison?
I can hear you.
Okay. I'm going to put you there. Hopefully everyone can hear you as well. Just going through the list of policies that the committee went over. Policy EF, as presented, board members, is already in place. The board has already taken action on the community eligibility provision program. However, it's been added to policy, and so next week we will take action to formally add that to that policy. Policies GCC and policy GDC were also reviewed with regards to professional and support staff leaves and absences. The committee discussed various options on the verification of sick leave, a practice Ms. Williams has already said has been put into place, but again, like the other policy, we're formalizing what the action of the district is by placing it in policy. The cumulative sick leave exception for accrued sick leave was discussed to be considered for those on an LOA, and that information will be added upon board discussion. That we decided to leave a blank so that board members, we could consider how many days retired staff might accrue from one year to the next, and that is in policy, but the blank is not left. If you might consider what retirees, those on a letter of agreement, so they don't receive a contract annually, and there's no assurance that from year to year they'll have a position. We certainly hope that they will, but they are a letter of agreement, and so this might be a consideration for our board to offer as a benefit to retirees that are assisting our district. Again, that is a blank that will be left, and that action will be considered next week. Are there any questions about that specific item that was discussed? And then the committee, go ahead. Okay. I'm sorry, the committee also asked administration to create an incentive or one-time expense to be reflected in the upcoming budget to encourage staff to use sick leave only when needed. Ms. Williams, is there any update on that to be considered?
No update. We're working on the budget now, and that will be considered to add to the budget for the 26-27 school year.
Okay. And that won't be something that the board would consider as a change to policy, but it may be something to be considered in next year's budget. Policy KF, community use of school facilities. The committee reviewed that policy, a number of changes to that that were truly based on the legal guidance that was provided to us. There are a number of areas that in the policy that you have before you need to still be altered and were discussed. There are already a number of procedures that our Buildings and Grounds Department have in place. And so we need to reference that in both the policy and the administrative rule. And so, Ms. Williams, I'll ask that you get with our legal team on that to present those procedural guidelines so that they are according to what we already have going on, and we have those in policy.
And just so the board will know, the administration has already worked on those procedures for that administrative rule. So it's just a matter of, just going back through it, tweaking it, and make sure that it fits the needs of our district.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. And that is it. So board members, you will have in your report set on Thursday those revisions, and those revisions to the policies will be those that will be considered next Tuesday.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say thank you to the Policy Committee. I know that was a lot of work and took a lot of time, and appreciate their time and effort in administration and our attorneys, and particularly excited that we might be able to show more appreciation to our retirees that might be able to carry over some of their days. So I'm glad the board can consider that.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Whitcomb. And
We are scheduled to meet on the 30th of the month at 5 o'clock.
I was just going to do that reminder. Very good. Thank you very much. All right, moving on. Number 7, Superintendent's Report. Effective leadership supports learning and optimal performance for all students. Superintendent Williams.
Sorry.
Excuse me, before that, please let the record show that we have a full board now.
All right, thank you again, Chair Nixon. And board members, the superintendent's reports moving forward will consist of each school principal presenting information on the progress that they're making or have made on their school improvement plans. So tonight, Principal Behe from Northside and her team will provide information concerning Northside School Improvement Plan, and I think she's also scheduled to do an update on your PBSS initiative as well. So Principal Behe.
Good evening, board members. I feel like I was just here not long ago giving you an update on something. Okay, so I want to give you an update tonight on our continuous improvement or turnaround plan. So as you know, a few years ago, Northside was considered a priority school, and we were up for the challenge. We took the challenge on, and over the course of those 3 years, we were able to come out of priority status, and we received an average rating. However, we were met with a new designation after exiting priority status, and that was with our ATSI designation, a concern that our special education population, we don't have enough students scoring meeting or exceeding. And so tonight's plan is going to be centered around our strategies and the different pieces we're going to put into place to begin to grow our SPED population to a higher achieving population. So first off, when we do our continuous improvement plan, we have a few different sections, the first one being our resource and equity goal. So what we want to do is really create an objective that's designed to address any disparities within our school. And in this case, again, it is the growth of our special needs population. So our goal is to have more of our special needs population scoring meeting and exceeding in both reading and math on the SC Ready state assessment by the end of our school year. So when we think about our resource and equity strategies, we want to make sure that not only what we give to our students that are in the general education population, that we are also providing those same experiences for our students that may be in another setting or may have an IEP. So a lot of our strategies are going to center around equitable practices. So if our gen ed population student receives double dosing in math and reading, we're going to do the exact same thing for our students with IEPs. We want to monitor our students' data and track their growth through the use of our already diagnostic assessment, as well as provide those positive behavior incentives for making good choices. When we make good choices, we remain in the classroom receiving instruction from our wonderful teachers. So our goal for ELA is to have a 3% growth for this particular population of students. And the way we want to do this is we want to not focus on bringing in things, curriculum, extra materials, things of that nature. Instead, what we want to focus on are we want to grow our educators to meet the needs of all students. So with that being said, we at Northside, we began the process of really researching the University of Florida Literacy Institute, some of the strategies that they use. It was, it's got a very strong research base. We wanted to kind of meet the needs as far as our students are concerned with phonics, providing that foundation. So our goal is to get our teachers trained in the use of UFly with our students to provide a stronger reading foundation. It's when we do something, do it with fidelity. Every day. When we do things with fidelity, when we use what we know is researched back, we're going to see the growth with our students. We also want to utilize, and that again is for every student at Northside. We also want to put more decodables and foundational reading materials in our students' hands. So we have teachers that are going to be participating in professional development with magnetic reading. Again, it's good for all teachers when we're meeting the needs of all of our students in the building. And then, of course, this is an ongoing process. This is not something that's done in a week's time, not something that's done in a month's time. We provide the foundation in professional development, and then we continue to build upon that as we implement in the classrooms across the school. When we look at our math goal, we're also looking at that 3% growth of students scoring meeting or exceeding on SC Ready Math. So when we think about our math strategies, we want to make sure that we are providing opportunities for our students to practice fluency. Fluency with math facts, fluency with addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And again, just like with our reading in ELA, it's not about purchasing more curriculum or more items. It's really about strengthening our educators' knowledge on how to meet the needs of all students. And so one of the things we want to focus on is the OGAP professional development. Now, when we think about OGAP professional development, it's like ongoing, it's called an ongoing assessment project. It's about being able to understand a student's mathematical thinking and the progression of their thinking so that teachers can make instructional decisions based on how students learn. We also want to utilize something that we already have in-house, which is our Bridges Intervention math curriculum, to help meet the needs of students. So just like we want to provide that strong foundation in phonics, we want to provide a strong foundation in numeracy. And again, what's good for one is also good for all. So we want to strengthen all the way across the board. As you know, we are piloting the 2 PBSS this year. And so I'm going to switch gears a little bit to this. And you know that this is a program we'll continue to build out as we implement our house system going into the 26-27 school year. So we have 2 PBSS in the Shark Tank, which is our reset room. And our PBSS are really focused on meeting the needs of students. It's how do we give them the social emotional support they need and have them in the classroom to get instruction, because that's where they're going to learn. They're not going to learn outside of the classroom. So I have Mr. Williams and Ms. Hampleton that serve in that role for Northside. They help us with students who are chronically absent. There may be something that's going on that you know, they may not be comfortable sharing, or the parent may not be comfortable sharing, but when that child feels like they belong to the school, they're going to show up and they're going to come to school more. And you're actually going to see this reflected in our data. They collaborate with our teachers and our counselor to help meet the needs of students. For example, the students that need that one moment, they need a break. They need to just, they advocate for themselves. They need to come to the room to take a break, to reset, and then to go right back to the classroom. It is that constant conversation that's going on between the reset room, but also from the teacher's classroom as well. We do our proactive behavior interventions. You know, we have our matrices across the room, across our building. We're always speaking the same language. And then tomorrow, we're having our spring fling, where the students who have earned their PBIS points, they are going to celebrate. We are partnering with the high school. We have basketball team members, football team members, cheerleaders, soccer players coming to have a full day with our kids to celebrate all the great choices that they are making. And that's what we want to see. We want to have so many kids participate that we don't know how we're going to pull it off. That's a wonderful challenge to have whenever we schedule things like this for them. And then, of course, the whole goal is to provide a safe and inclusive place for our students that they want to be every day and that they feel supported. And so that is it. Our whole aim is to get children in the building every day, to reduce the infractions that occur, to use them as a learning point, because when we, you know, when you hear, oh, a child doesn't know how to read, well, we teach them. Oh, a child doesn't know how to do math, we teach them. Oh, a child doesn't know how to act, we punish them. And that's not how you change behavior. You hold them, you have high expectations, there are consequences for them, but you also have to teach them and practice those appropriate behaviors in the school. So when you just take a look at our results right now, we have a 9% decrease in absenteeism since last year, and that's a big deal. We do struggle with getting our students to school every day consistently. Right now, we do have a decrease in referrals. That we do have a little spring fever right now. I will admit the weather's nice, so we're getting a little, you know, a little busy. But we still have a decrease in the referrals, and I foresee that by the end of the school year, we'll still have a lower amount of referrals than we did last year at the end. So this is definitely a work in progress. This is very much worthwhile work to do with our students. You know, before students came to school, it was about academics. We come to school, we learn, we go home. We come to school, we learn, we go home. We still come to school to learn, but we have to provide that whole child support when they do enter the building. Any questions?
Any questions, board members?
Northside sounds like a happy place to be for learning about sharks and everything else.
And you start your fun day what time tomorrow?
It starts at 8:10, bright and early.
Okay, and it goes until what time tomorrow?
It goes until 2:10, all day long.
Okay. All right, hearing no other questions, thank you very much, Ms. B.
Thank you.
Superintendent Williams.
It's 8 o'clock too early for our chair. Is that what I mean? Noon is a good time.
I just want to say thank you to Ms. Behe. I know that they put a lot of different strategies in place over the past few years, and their school was, what, 2 points away from good? Was it 2 points, Ms.? 2 or 3 points away from a good rating. So just want to thank the leadership for what you all do at Northside, and just encourage you to keep on keeping on and doing those things that work for our kids. All right. Can we move to the next? Okay. All right. So board members, the next item is the the pre-K through 6th grade restructuring. And I came to you last week and I made a recommendation to restructure our elementary schools to include 6th grade. I'm making the same recommendation this evening to restructure our elementary schools to include 6th grade. My leadership team and I have held town hall meetings. We've collected data. We've shown the data to you that we collected through surveys. We've had conversations with principals. We've had conversations with district leaders. We've done our due diligence. We've even provided a question and answer document for you. We've updated the document twice. I don't know exactly how many questions are on the document, but it's a pretty thick document, and I do have it in case you have questions. I will refer to the document. However, I just want to say that all instructional details will be worked out by the schools if the board approves this proposal. But my recommendation is to restructure our elementary schools to include 6th grade. As for the early childhood options that we presented to you and you asked us to go out and do some exploration, there are several factors that we need to consider. First, there are still a number of unknowns regarding how we would effectively provide services for our students with special needs. Some key information needed for planning was not available to district administration in time for a full analysis. There are also unknowns of how new charter schools moving into our district might affect our student enrollment because no statistics are available at this time. Second, the timeline would require teachers and staff to make significant decisions about their future employment with very limited time to properly evaluate their options because it's March. Additionally, there are potential concerns regarding facility capacity in the second year of implementing that would go along with option B. Option B was to expand Blackstreet to a 1st grade, to include 1st grade next year, and then the following year to expand to 2nd grade. Well, there are some potential concerns regarding facility capacity in that second year of implementation. So given these considerations and in alignment with the board's fiduciary responsibility to make thoughtful decisions for the district and with the district's best interests in mind, I recommend maintaining Blackstreet as it is, which includes providing an early childhood center for our community as they so desperately want by keeping Blackstreet Early Childhood Center open. More defined statistics should be available during the 26-27 school year of how this new entity, the new charter school, will affect or would affect the Colleton County School District. And I just want to make it clear that charter schools can solicit students from all over. It doesn't have to be solely the Colleton County School District. There's the school district, there's private schools, there's Christian schools. All across the region, people can come and enroll their children in charter schools. So this would allow the new administration to come in and to conduct a deeper analysis, gather additional data, and determine the best long-term decisions for the students and families of the Colleton County School District. So my recommendation is leave Blackstreet as it is, and my recommendation is also to restructure our elementary schools to add 6th grade.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion based on Ms. Williams' wonderful recommendation.
Second.
Let her make a motion.
Make a motion. Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I would like us to consider the following motion. First, thank you, Superintendent Williams and our consultant, Dr. Bagley, and to all that have worked tirelessly on exploring and giving us the information that we could review as a board on how best to continue improving. We're so thankful for the improvement that has been made, and we want that to continue under the leadership. And while retaining students and staff and effectively using our buildings, we know you've looked at everything and on how to reduce our budget shortfall. So thank you, and thanks to the audience that is here. Hearing the desire of our Bells, Hendersonville, and Cottageville families to keep students as close to home as possible during the elementary years from the information you've given us, I move that our current 5th grade, as you suggested, be housed at their home schools, Bells, Hendersonville, and Cottageville, so that they can stay at their zone schools for 6th grade next year, school year 26-27. Based on the capacity study you provided us that has been presented for our in-town schools, as well as parental support, I further move that Northside and Forest Hills be restructured so one of these might house all of our in-town early childhood students, because that is such a successful model and we applaud those teachers. And one of those schools house all of the in-town upper elementary students to include 6th grade, as you suggested. Additionally, I would like to reaffirm the board's commitment to ensure that all of our students with special needs are served in their age-appropriate schools along with their peers. And we thank those teachers and parents that have reached out to us. With this motion, we can best support all of our students and staff in our newest and most up-to-date elementary buildings, while also beginning to reduce that $2 million budget shortfall based on the extensive exploration data that we've received from Superintendent Williams and her administrative team, which I'm so thankful.
So I don't know if I'm out of order, but I would like to ask a question concerning Ms. Strobel's motion.
Okay,
It has to be seconded.
I'm waiting for a second, if there is one, before we move. No, he did that prior to the motion.
Oh, I'd like to have a little more information on what the motion, I'm missing something in that.
Again, the motion has to be seconded.
There needs to be a second for this motion in order for it to be discussed.
Given that, I'll second the motion.
It has been moved and properly seconded that we accept this motion. Any discussion?
So I would like to ask a question, because my recommendation was to restructure our elementary schools to keep 6th grade at the elementary schools. And I'm just making sure that I understand the motion for the early childhood. What you're suggesting is that all of the kids from Blackstreet are moved to either Forest Hills or Northside, and then what would happen with Blackstreet?
Okay, this is Allison. If I could add, this is a time for the board to discuss the motion, and a board member could ask for comments, but we're now at a point where a motion has been made and seconded, and this is board discussion.
Right, we are discussing.
Charles had a question.
Okay.
So just so we're in order and a board member is discussing, I would like clarification on the motion that Superintendent Williams asked for 6th graders to go to the elementary schools, and in the motion that was made by Ms. Lynn, that the kids from Blackstreet would be moved to either Northside or Forest Hills, making one of those schools a early childhood and early elementary school, and then the other school would be an upper elementary school. Is that correct? Do we have that understanding right?
Thank you, Trustee Irwin, and Mr. Chairman, may I respond to his question? Thank you, Superintendent Williams. Thank you, Ms. Hannah, for keeping us on track. Based on the policies I've reviewed, there could be others. The board is tasked in 3 policies. Policy DA that deals with financial management and goals and setting priorities and objectives, and policy FB for facility planning, and policy FA. There could be others. I've asked board members if they know others. But all of those, as I read it, the board establishes the vision, but I trust our administration just like I trusted them to bring us the wonderful information and answering questions. They've been doing this for months and helping us to make a decision. So I trust administration for the next steps in looking at what we do with property, as well as which one of the in-town schools is best suited for early childhood model and which is suited for upper elementary, because we know our community wants that the early childhood model. So as a board member, I made a motion based on a vision of what we do, but the nuts and bolts is the administration, and they can bring it back to us if they like, but I trust them to make decisions about, next steps as far as what we would do with property and buildings, just like we have done, with other property and buildings. So I trust administration. That would be a next step.
I just want to simplify this if I can. And Board Member Strobel, it was your motion, so I'm just going to ask just for clarity. What we're saying is Cottageville, Hendersonville, and Bells will remain the same, except their sixth graders, the current fifth graders who will be sixth graders next year, will stay in those schools. We will not have students at Blackstreet Early Childhood. Those students and staff will be moved to either one of our two in-town schools, which will become an early childhood school and an early elementary school, and then the other school, per administration's choice, will become an upper elementary, which would be 4th through 6th for the in-town kids. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And it goes with an option that we were given. Option C was one we were given to look at. But this includes the special ed students that have special needs, because we heard our parents and teachers and our director of exceptional learners. Those need to be in-house with their peers so that they can be serviced if they have opportunity to mainstream. I know I have a great nephew that has gotten great service with that model, so that he can, have inclusion and be with his peers. So yes, it goes with what we've been given to review. It's not something, outside of what we've been recommended and given to review.
So I would like to, during the discussion, I would like to go on record to make sure that it is known that it is not the recommendation of the leadership to go with option C, and I've placed that in several emails, that it is not our recommendation to go with option C, and that's what this motion is doing. It's going with option C, which is all of Blackstreet students at either Forest Hills or Northside, leaving Blackstreet vacant, leaving it up to whomever to decide what happens to Blackstreet. And there was a comment that was made in the last board meeting that we should close Blackstreet and sell it to the charter school. I find that very offensive, because we are public school district employees and leaders, and we're supposed to be looking out for the best interest. It's our fiduciary duty to look out for Colleton County School District Public School and not look out for charter schools.
Well, that's not I cut in on something.
No, Mr. Chairman, if you would help guide us through this discussion so that we know who. Go ahead, Mr. Murray.
Mr. Murray.
That's not the action that the superintendent asked for. So how can we change the whole motion around to satisfy us so far as what we like? I think we need to stick to what the action was calling for, and that's the way we need to go. Adding to it, that's not the way we do things. We're not adding something that's not there, and that's not what we're supposed to be doing.
If I may, as you said, we're going to trust the administration and the leaders to make the recommendation. The recommendation from the administration and the leaders was that we leave Blackstreet Early Childhood as it is, and that we add the 6th grade to the elementary schools. That was their recommendation. And if we're going to trust them to lead, then let's go with their recommendation. We can either look at that and we can decide to vote it up or down.
And I would like to also say, I just gave a lot of different factors that really need to be considered. The board really needs to make sure that we can serve our special needs population in a standalone school. There were some concerns that were brought up yesterday afternoon when we had our town hall meeting at Blackstreet. I know that Ms. Learson brought up lots of concerns about special needs. I know this is a discussion time, and I think that it's proper for you to make the right decision to have all of the information. Is it proper for me to ask Ms. Learson to come up and speak about the special ed population?
I don't have that as a question right now.
We can't do that because right now there is a motion and a second. And the discussion.
If I can add, this is a motion. There's a motion that has been properly seconded, and there's discussion, and the next thing that should happen should be a vote, unless somebody chooses to withdraw their motion.
Request to be recognized, Mr. Chairman.
There's a motion and a second.
Trustee Wilkin.
Thank you. I just want to make note that in the motion that Ms. Strobel presented, there was no mention of charter school, and that is not in what is being considered at this time. We were tasked with responding to the community's change in learning environments that are being offered. And I do think that lots of options have been given to us in response to those options that our community has. Also, I just want to add that the vision for the development of district facilities is directly charged by this school board. And so we have the ability to make those decisions and create the vision for our district. And that is, of course, to take into consideration the recommendations of our administration. And so that weighs heavily on any decision that we make. But we have to come to a consensus, and we need to work to do some compromising. And I think that was evident at the last board meeting. In the discussions that were had, we tried to stipulate on the motions, and that was not successful. And there have been conversations that we have had, and specifically with our staff at yesterday's meetings, and also with parents since the last board meeting. And so that information had to be used to create something else to consider. If we are going to decide to move our 6th grade students or keep our 5th grade students for the 6th grade, there is a confusion area, Mr. Chairman, on our capacity at our schools and understanding, I'm just going to say it, specifically at Northside, there has been a lot of talk and discussion about special needs classrooms, 1st grade and 6th grade. And that is not something that I heard in the recommendation from the administration. Mr. Chairman, may I ask Ms. Williams if there's any change in that capacity and knowledge thus far based on what you're recommending?
So as far as Northside is concerned, if 6th grade were to move into that building, then there would be one low incidence class that would need to move to Forest Hills. That's the only change there. And Ms. Behe is here, and if it's appropriate, she can speak to that as well.
So I just want to make clear that that school is going to be at such capacity that we are going to have to move a class into another school in order to accommodate the recommendation.
And that's based upon enrollment numbers. We can only go on projected numbers at this time.
Understood, and no one has that crystal ball. And so that is what makes the challenge of this decision so hard. And we don't know the impact, as you mentioned, Ms. Williams, in what decisions the parents are considering in their next year locations and where they choose to educate their students. But that is I'm just going to say, very tight and concerning. That is not the recommendation that was on the options as it was considered, which gives pause for what is best, not just for now, but again, this board determines the vision for the development of our district facilities. And if we are considering all facilities, Forest Hills Elementary has an entire wing that is not being used by students, or I'll just stand corrected because I'm sure someone will say it is occasionally. It is not in full use as it should be. And there are ways that we have to change in order to use the facilities that we have. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, we have to do something.
But getting back to the motion at hand,
yes.
The motion at hand states that the rural schools, Bells, Hendersonville, Cottageville, will add 6th grade. The motion states that the inner city schools would absorb the students from Blackstreet and then have one school that has the upper elementary students and the other not. That is the motion currently at hand. So we need to take a vote on whether we're going to accept that motion.
And Mr. Nixon, I would like to just say, I agree with Superintendent Williams in her presentation. At one point, she mentioned that there were still a lot of questions and a lot of unanswered things. There's a lot of data that we don't have that's just not available to us. And just from my personal perspective as a board member, I think there's a lot of questions left to be answered. I think there's still a lot of confusion around some of this move. And also, I'm sure other board members were, in their inbox today and got several emails from staff and parents. And in the emails that I received, and I tried to go through all of them and respond accordingly, I didn't see any from parent or staff that was in favor of moving our 6th graders back into our elementary schools. So I just think, as we look at this motion and possibly other motions as well, I think there's still a lot of questions and a lot of confusion where here we are in the middle of March looking at sending out contracts for teachers and employees very soon and stuff. And I just think there's a lot a lot of data and a lot of answers that we still need answers to before we can fully commit to a move like this.
Mr. Chair, if I can respond, I did receive parents that want their children in their rural school and go back to a model like Superintendent Williams is suggesting. I can speak for Hendersonville, where we had our rec sports for 5th and 6th grade, and in the 70s. So we're looking at a model where we could build our community schools, Hendersonville, Cottageville, Bells, and whichever of the in-town schools holds the 5th and 6th, and they could compete in sports like Mr. Myers came to the podium and said. And I did respond back to some parents and teachers and ask if they were very much in favor of an early schoolhood model, and they wanted us to hold on to the early childhood model. And if it were to be in one of the in-town schools, they all responded back favorably. So I hear that you think it's different, but it's still the recommendation for 6th graders to be in their building with their elementary, where they're housed for elementary school, so they'll stay there longer, including their students with special needs. Longer transition is what I hear from parents. And in the early childhood, we could now have an early childhood pre-K through 2nd. And I had parents reaching out wanting that after the meeting yesterday. They want that middle school model, that the early childhood model that can keep their children, especially the ones with special needs, in a setting longer, because they're transition. So a pre-K through 2 could really, enhance our in-town parents and students. And an upper elementary could reach out to our parents because they could, be involved in the 5th and 6th grade sports and focus, on some of the things we've heard mentioned that are going to happen at some of our elementary schools, like houses and different concepts for careers. And the other thing is that I take it very seriously, the budget. And if we can absorb our children into 2 buildings instead of 3 in town, based on the numbers we were given, and I've taken a lot of time to study it. I haven't said which one of those schools, because I want the administration to decide that, looking at the building. And our new superintendent-elect to have a chance to look at that. But we could make a decision soon on where the early childhood is best situated and where the upper elementary students. But we do need to be aware that there are other opportunities right around our corner to, absorb our students. And I'm in favor of doing something that will show our parents that we are trying to model after what we think is best, and an early childhood model we know is really something they want in town particularly.
So noted. Any other discussion?
One more. I know Mr. Simpson is not here, but I got a question about moving the pre-K students to these other schools. How much renovation we would have to do in order to put those students in those schools? So far as restrooms, ain't each classroom got to have a restroom?
So, Mr. Murdoch, to answer your question, being that this was the early childhood options and the board asked us last week to explore this, all of that information is not available.
Right. So,
I'm sorry.
So that means that we'll be putting kids in a place where they can't even, I see, it just don't make a whole lot of sense there.
One of the question and answers did say it was adequate, that, we could house those students in either Forest Hills or Northside. One of the question and answer documents we got.
And moving back to the motion that is in front of us now. Is there time to take a vote? It is time to take a vote on this. Either by voting yes, you accept the motion that the rural schools move up to 6th grade, and you accept the motion that Blackstreet basically have the students removed, being closed, and sent to other schools where you'd have one school that was a higher elementary and one school with the lower elementary students. That is the motion before us. Those in favor of that motion, please raise your hand. 2. Those not in favor, please raise your hand. That motion fails. Moving on. Is there another motion we can look at today?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we move the 6th graders to the elementary schools, let them stay at the elementary schools in this district.
I second.
It has been moved and properly seconded that and I'm going to ask for clarification, that we accept this motion. Your motion then would be to accept the recommendation of the superintendent and her staff.
Yes.
That is correct. All right. Any discussion on that motion?
Yes, sir. I'd like to say something. It's March, and we're arguing and trying to figure out what we're going to do for the next school year. And if we make a decision at this point, we're going to force somebody's hand. I know what it's like to do something begrudgingly. You don't do your best work when your hand is forced. If one decision is made, certain people are going to be happy, and if another decision is made, others are going to be happy. And in my opinion, we've kicked the can too far down the road to make such a big decision at this point in time. I think that this board needs to go ahead and allow next school year to continue the way it has been this year, and we have this decision prepared and ready and thoroughly thought through, and not all the what ifs and the what could be's and what do we do about this and what do we do about that. We need a plan that will not only deal with the elementary side as well as the middle school side. And I know that may not be a popular decision or an opinion tonight because it's not going to make 3/4 of the people in this room happy. However, if we do one and not the other, it's going to be a forced decision, and it's not, we don't have enough time to make it.
So noted. Any other discussion on this motion?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to state that, I think that we have been challenged with the options that are presented, and I personally am. I want to state very clearly that I have a junior and freshman in high school that went through elementary school, beginning at Blackstreet. They had the full elementary school setting, and they had 3 years at the middle school. And if you ask my freshman right now, he misses the middle school. He had a wonderful experience. So I don't understand fully where the student or the parents or the families that are leaving our district at the middle school. I don't understand their concerns, but I do understand they have them. And I do feel that as a district, we have to respond to them. I want to state publicly that I'm concerned that Northside Elementary would be taking in a whole different grade level, trying to do the best they can, hearing the wonderful things that school has before them, and the initiatives, and adding to that seems challenging. But I will support this movement moving forward in hopes that our families understand that we are hearing, we are trying, and we still think that we offer the best educational opportunities for your children.
Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say, from an academic point of view, our middle school scores that we've seen over the last couple of years, one of the biggest challenges that we have is in middle school in our areas of math. And it is very concerning to me whenever we talk about pushing sixth graders into elementary schools, whereas opposed to now, we have dedicated math teachers for our sixth grade pods. And I'm sure because of our administration and our district, we have the very best teachers teaching math to all sixth graders so we can get those scores caught up. Whereas if we push those students back to their community schools and the 2 in schools, now we have to come up with 5 different math teachers, as where now we have 2 if we have 2 pods of sixth graders or whatever. And I think that's something that really needs to be taken into account. Whenever we say we're going to do what's best for kids, well, what we're talking about, as Ms. Behe said, not only socially and emotionally and stuff, but it's also academics. We cannot make this decision based on anything else other than what is best for our kids academically and emotionally and stuff. I went through the middle school here in Colleton County when there was a Campus B and a Campus A. I still submit that with the separate building that we have at the middle school, we can keep our sixth graders separate from the 7th and 8th graders, but they're still at the middle school. I think that's the best option for us, and I think there are just too many questions left to be answered with special ed, with gifted and talented, with our band program. There are so many questions left unanswered if we force this move back to the elementary schools.
So noted. Any other discussion? And if I may take, okay.
First of all, Madam Superintendent Williams, let me thank you and your staff for working diligently on this program, because you had brought it to us 2 or 3 months ago about the change that Blackstreet would love to see happen, the principal over there. And all 6 or 7 boards thought it was a great idea. Now everybody is seem like they're going against it, and you kept bringing information back, what we need. So I don't know what the problem is, but I do want to thank you for doing what you and your team are doing, because I think it's a good idea to go back to 6th grade, the middle school, 6th grade, go back to the elementary. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other discussion? And if I may take a moment of personal privilege just to say, Mr. Stivender, I do understand what you say about people having to make decisions because things being thrust upon them can be difficult to handle. However, having been in the classroom for 40 years in 5 different school districts, many times I've had things thrust upon me that I didn't particularly care for. But educators are really great people at monitoring and adjusting. And those educators who really want to teach will find a way to do it, even under difficult circumstances. That being said, if there's any other discussion on this motion, I will call for a vote.
For clarification purposes, I was not referring to the educators, I was referring to the command staff.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to say thank you to all of our staff, and you're right, they go above and beyond, and that's how we moved our schools to average. And I very much wanted to be in support of moving 6th grade, but I'm very torn because the other way would have not crowded anyone, and using our buildings wisely by making an adjustment in the in-town schools. So I'm very torn, having been a principal, not wanting to disrupt the average schools that we have in our elementary and middle. We've done a good job. So a vote of no movement is in favor of teachers doing what they do best, even though I was hopeful that we could move some to newer buildings. My hat's off to you for what you do in the conditions you're in.
And I do, Mr. Chairman, if I can, just real quick, I do want to acknowledge one of our teachers who sent an email to, I think, the entire board today, did mention this is the first time that we've had all average schools in our elementary schools. And the question was, since we're improving and since we have this, why are we making this change? So I just want to acknowledge our district's efforts in getting our elementary schools to all average. And I would just kind of echo that teacher's comment in the email that was sent to the board today, that we're showing progress, we're doing these things, why make this massive of a change now?
And if we keep our motto, it's all about the kids and the time is now, I hope we truly think about putting all of our kids in our best buildings. Just think about if those are your babies and you've got a newer building and you could move them to a newer building, why would you hold them back? So let's make sure it's all about the kids, and we're going to do the best with our buildings.
So noted. And our motion on the floor is that we accept the recommendation of the superintendent and her staff to move the 6th grade students, or keep the 6th grade students at their current elementary schools and leave Blackstreet as the early childhood center. That is the motion. If you are in favor of that, please raise your hand. 3, the count is 5. Those opposed? 2. Okay, I think I miscounted once more. Those in favor, please raise your hand. That is 4, I'm sorry. And those opposed, 2, and 1 abstention.
Yes.
So the motion passes. Human Resources report.
Thank you.
Good evening.
This month,
Full love.
This month, I wanted to make sure you had a projection of vacancies that we currently know about in human resources. This is just the projection. So you have those. We have a total of 22, but I just want to say that the number is kind of inflated because our SPED numbers, we had a number of contracted teachers and so those vacancies are still on the books, and so we need to go ahead and fill those vacancies. And I am happy to say that principals are actively interviewing for special education teachers, okay? And I want to especially note the vacancies currently. Of course, we haven't issued contracts at the middle school and high school, and typically the numbers are flipped. Elementary numbers are lower than middle school and high school, but this year, we only have 13 vacancies at both locations, so that, in my opinion, is commendable. And if you would see that we have some fine arts, those hard-to-fill vacancies like chorus. And I will say that we have about 12 applicants to share between the two. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have about vacancies before I move on to the next.
Any questions? Hearing none, carry on.
We have attended several recruitment fairs. Ms. Fanchette is actually out of the office this week. She's at Lander today, and she will be at Newberry tomorrow, with hopes of recruiting newly college graduates to come to our district. Any questions about recruitment?
Any questions? Hearing none, carry on.
Okay. I gave you a projection of dates for the issuance of contracts. So you will hopefully review and approve those people on next week, Tuesday, and then we would like to issue contracts before spring break, preferably. We could do that. And that would be April the 3rd. We will then issue, pursuant to state law about retirees and letter of agreements, issue those letter of agreements by May 1st, and then work agreements by May 11th for classified staff. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have.
Any questions?
Ms. Hamilton, I see a number of schools that are recognizing and celebrating their support and teacher staff of the year. Are those going to come to us formally, and when?
Yes, ma'am. So that'll be in the board report for April,
Okay.
and we will recognize them in May.
Terrific. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Ms. Hamilton. Finance report, Ms. Barrett.
Good evening, board members.
Good evening.
I just wanted to give you an update on what's going on with the budget process. The district, we have finished with all our principals, and we've also heard from our department heads. I'm still waiting on you all to give your budget recommendation for your budget, so we still need to go ahead and get that from you. But other than that, as far as the legislative update, the House, the Ways and Means Committee, they have already sent their budget requests in, and things that we're really looking at is making sure that that $2,000 for the teachers are still there. And the House and the Ways and Means Committee have that in their budget. So now the House is looking at the budget, and hopefully they keep that in the budget. And when I went to Scottsdale last week, we are told that we're going to get some budget information from the House. I should get that next week, so we can do some preliminary numbers, probably in April. Other than that, there's any questions about the budget process?
Any questions?
Mr. Chairman, may I ask, Ms. Barrett, do we know, Ms. Williams, do we know when that budget work session is scheduled?
I don't have this. I will find it for you and let you know before we leave.
Ms. Barrett, how are we doing so far with eliminating the $2 million deficit that we're facing?
Well, yes, we have through attrition, we have had several positions that we have had through attrition. We had a couple of departments that have offered up a few positions that they're not going to fill. So we're still looking at that, but we're still working on it very hard.
Any other questions?
If I may note, there was a motion on the table this evening that had reference to, if I may, Ms. Strobel, wasn't there a motion with regards to budget reduction in the general operating fund? Your motion had an influence on that, didn't it? And then also, just to highlight some of the numbers that you have provided us, Ms. Barrett, and that is in the revenue column, decrease. Food services, I know that is based on your explanation because of an increase in participation. I think that's worth highlighting and is super to our food services department. But also, our revenue is decreasing. Except for local, which is it appears to be just a collection issue. Do you want to elaborate on LGIP interest earnings?
Yes, the LGIP has really been wonderful for the district. Like I said, last year we got about $1 million in the interest for that. Projecting to look maybe about $800,000 this year, maybe $700,000-800,000. By us putting that $3 million back into the budget has helped us get more interest. So we are going to pretty good with the interest. And of course, we got a 3 millage increase last year. And I don't see too much revenue that's coming in for that yet, but I'm still looking and analyzing that. as far as our $1.7 million cut for the 45-day, we still have to absorb that and looking at how's that going to affect the budget in the long run. So our next 135-day count will be our next decrease if it's lower number for the ADM, or it could be, but I doubt it's going to be an increase, but it probably, I can stay the same.
Yeah.
So we still have to wait for those numbers to come in for that to get a complete understanding of what our budget is going to be.
Understood. I just want to highlight the fact that we all know that local revenue comes from taxes,
Right.
from school operating millage, and that includes businesses, second homes,
Right. Businesses
Cars.
second home.
Cars.
Businesses second home.
Boats.
Your primary residence
Boats.
is not
taxed.
It's not taxed.
Not
Primary
taxed, so
residence is
that
not
just
taxed.
everyone understand that. And then as far as your expenditure report increase, there's one increase, which is general operating. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Well, the
Why our general operating funds are?
It's increases sometimes fluctuate. We also had as far as our light bills and everything, it was a 12.9% that we had an increase as far as that. Also, it's also depending on revenue, expenditures, timing, what's coming in, what's being paid out. But we're looking at that and trying to make sure that we have all the expenditures allocated.
And I'm sorry, so there was just the increase in general fund, but every other expenditure in revenue, special revenue, federal funds, food service, there's decreases.
Right.
So as far as I can tell, and I appreciate the explanation, our revenue is decreasing. But our expenses, except for in general fund, which had to do specifically with an electric issue, are decreasing as well. So I do think that says, it gives us promise, we can't keep spending money if we don't have money. And it looks, based on your reporting, that we are not.
Right,
Is that
well,
a fair
yes.
assessment? Thank
That's
you.
true. Any other questions?
And Ms. Whitkin, to answer your question concerning the work sessions, we do have a budget priority work session on the 17th, a board priority work session on the 17th of March at 4 o'clock before the regular board meeting at 6. And then we have a budget work session on the 24th at 5 o'clock.
Mr. Chairman, have those dates been shared with board members? Thank you, Ms. Williams.
Let me check to be sure.
Yes, it was in the board brief on the calendar that was sent on Friday.
Okay. We got to put those on our calendar. Does everyone have those?
Okay.
So again, that is next Tuesday, the 17th at 4, all board members, and then again on the 24th, at what time?
At 5.
Thank you.
All right, let's all please make note of those dates and times. Thank you, Ms. Barrett. Academics and student affairs, our core purpose is teaching and learning. Dr. Jenkins.
Chair Nixon, school board members, and Superintendent Williams, you already have a copy of my report. However, I would like to share that the transformational coach, her responsibilities are also outlined in the presentation, and she will present to you in the near future. We've already scheduled a date. We're just waiting for her to confirm. This afternoon, I would like to present the director, another awesome leader in our district, Mr. Horvath. He has his yearly report he would like to share with you and to our listening audience at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Jenkins. Chairperson Nixon, all our board members, Superintendent Williams, and all my colleagues, before I start, let me just say thank you for your never quit attitude, your persistence in solving problems. And this will only present us with opportunities to grow closer together as times grow tougher in the decisions that we have to make. So a sincere, heartfelt thank you, Mrs. Williams, all the board members and the colleagues. So tonight, we have great news about adult education. As always, that's the only kind of news I know how to give for adult education. We are a part of the South Carolina Department of Education, and we're a part of us, Carlton County School District, one of the best and most premier school districts that are growing at leaps and bounds of great things that we're going to be doing in the future. Now, the next slide, if I know how to do this, is a little bit about our program, where we would like to go. We're an opportunity-rich source for our workforce. It's all about graduating students and preparing them for local careers within the Low Country. Our mission ensures that every Colletonian can gain access to a high-quality, Low Country workforce-aligned education and training pathway that leads to economic mobility, and every one of our students can catch their future today. There are some constants that we have. Adult basic education. Adult basic education involves those students that are emerging readers. They're learning basic numeracy, and they're reading and learning things so that they can one day hopefully take and pass the GED test or earn a South Carolina high school diploma. That roughly makes up 92% of the folks that we see every single year. So it's our goal to see around 300 folks walk through the door. We need 255 to have a full-time director, that's me, provided by the State Department of Education. And so we've been able to meet that. Next, the adult secondary. Those are folks who are performing on the high school level, and that makes up, over the 20 years that I've been with the program, about 8% of our people every single year. And so that's why we see annually somewhere around 20 to 30 students earning their South Carolina high school diploma or passing the GED test and earning their South Carolina high school equivalency diploma. Workforce preparation is primary, so that's involved and infused in everything that we do, from students being on time, communicating with teachers. And so we also employ Nick Fanchette, who is our student services coordinator, and he ensures that college and career navigation services are provided to all of those students. And about a third of the folks that we see have those wraparound services. So it's our goal to really have wraparound services for about 100 students every single year. This year so far, we have about 80-some students that have received all those different kind of services, connecting them with SC Works, connecting them with opportunities to go towards post-secondary training that will be free or at little cost to them, and where they can find a job right here in the Low Country. We do that. On our next slide, you'll see workplace literacy up first, and this provides the student an opportunity through an approved program through the South Carolina Department of Education to work with local employers. You, in fact, are one of those employers. We're teaching a Spanish class right now. We're looking at how we're going to help people with digital literacy within the district. So there are many opportunities for that. We're also working with local companies and seeing what their needs are as well. We have strong linkages with our core partners. Again, we, thanks to you, have invited SC Works into the building. Other counties are now looking at doing this because not every county has a comprehensive SC Works Center. So for the Low Country area, that would be Beaufort that has that. What we have done is we've in fact created a more comprehensive center for all Colletonians right here in the heart of the city. And we do provide transportation through an agreement with Palmetto Breeze, and our students, for example, don't pay to take that. We pay for that for them to come, and they'll be able to see SC Works, say, on Thursdays during their orientation session, where we'll provide a release for them to go and see those opportunities. And those opportunities can be, if and when appropriate, up to $5,500 for post-secondary training. We also have the National Adult Ed Honor Society, and we celebrate that every year. So that's always a fun thing to do. Back to what we're looking at here, we see that we've had 126 GED subtests given already this school year, and we have a Pearson VU GED testing center right here on site. That operates day, night, as well as on Saturdays. We have 11 high school equivalency diploma completers so far this year. That's 11 folks who have passed all 4 sections of the GED tests. And we have one person working towards a South Carolina high school diploma. We have 32 South Carolina Ready to Work certificates, and they do that by passing the WIN test, Work Ready Math, Work Ready Reading, Work Ready Data. So it's all about getting folks ready to get into employment opportunities as well as post-secondary education training. We have workplace literacy endorsed by the South Carolina Department of Education. They take 5 assessments, and when needed, they receive instruction, as they often do, in multiple of those pre-assessments that we see where they need it. We have 64 folks working in post-secondary after they leave us. So 64 folks currently who are enrolled in post-secondary training in areas that are needed locally for employment. Most of our funding is competitive. It comes directly from the State Department of Education. So roughly 80% of our funds are done competitively. We use them in a variety of means. You can see that for one example, we use College and Career Navigator. We've lobbied the State Department of Education to ensure that our rural programs have opportunities to hire quality personnel who are needed to meet to address the needs of our students, and that's one way we do it. We dedicate money to our young adult population, and that means 17 through 21-year-old students. So we're looking to capture those individuals who have not completed high school as soon as possible after they leave the high school to ensure, while life is less complicated, that they get that high school credential. Because while it's not impossible and it's not necessarily harder, life does become more complicated. Next, this is just our statistics. We're not only evaluated by the South Carolina Department of Education, we also use the Department of Employment and Workforce to evaluate our outcomes for our students after they leave us. So once a student leaves Carlton Adult Learning Center, during the 2nd and 4th quarter, Department of Employment and Workforce tracks where they are. This chart shows you not by actual number, but by percentage. And our rankings are just a raw ranking. We're not like other adult ed programs similar to our size. These rankings include Charleston, Horry, Greenville, whoever, from small to large. And so if you look at 2nd quarter of employment, ranked out of 50 programs, Carlton Adult Learning Center, your adult ed provider, has come in 21st out of all 50 throughout the state. So that's above the median average, and that's a good place to be. 4th quarter employment, we came in 27th. Median earnings, we're down to 33rd. That's a challenge because, again, that median earnings is for a local workforce area as well as the entire state. So if you went to Greenville, for example, county, you'd be making more money. So that's a challenge for us to compete with. Credential rate. After our students leave us, 2nd and 4th quarter, do they have a high school credential, which means the South Carolina high school diploma, or the GED, high school equivalency diploma, and or do they have a secondary credential, like patient care technician, for example? We met that 100%. We're ranked number 2 in the state of South Carolina for adult education programs. Thank you, and it's really the work of the entire staff. Measurable skills gain, and that means whether those students are achieving like their peers across the state, whether it's through educational achievement, they take the test of adult basic education, they pass the GED test, they move on and they enter post-secondary and go into certified nursing assistant, truck driving, welding, all of those things like that. We are ranked number 17 out of 50 across the state of South Carolina. So our students not only perform here, but more importantly, we prepare them to perform after they leave us. So that's what we do very well. And I see some staff back there, so hi everybody. And then finally, we do a whole lot of other things at adult education. So we are part of the local workforce board. I'm the youth committee leader. I'm also on the board. We are part of the Technical Assistance Network, meaning there are 4 areas in South Carolina for professional development. My team, Mr. Armentrout, myself, and the rest of the team, we coordinate that professional development for everybody from Aiken on up in the middle towards Orangeburg, Calhoun, over to Beaufort. So your own adult ed provider, what we do is we coordinate professional development for roughly 1/4 of the state of South Carolina. So again, there's a lot of things that you see, there's some things that you don't see on a daily basis, but what I want you to know, that the students and the staff are the most amazing people you will ever meet in any adult education program, and the statistics point out to show you that on a percentage base, I use this term loosely, per capita, because that's not a part of the statistics, but on a percentage base, we not only compete with the best, at times we outperform the best. And we are part of you, the best. The best is yet to come. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, please.
Thank you. Any questions?
Mr. Chair, if I can thank Mr. Horvath for the wonderful gifts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Dr. Jenkins, if I can just compliment you on we heard there will be some advanced placement classes at the high school. So thank you from your Department of Curriculum. I'm hearing we'll have calculus again and computer science. So I'm glad those advanced placement classes will be available to our students. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jenkins. Moving on, number 9, operational management. Safe, secure, and positive environment will be conducive for teaching and learning.
Thank you, Board Chair Nixon. So, board members, you have a copy of the operations report in your packets. And if you have any questions that our operations department can answer at this time, they will be more than happy to answer any questions you may have.
Mr. Chair, if I can give a compliment, I received a phone call from a community person that I think most of us highly respect, Mr. Kenny Blakeney, and he was so proud of how the athletic fields look. He said that our softball field and football field and baseball field have never looked better, and he called and thanked Mr. Myers and the team that's working on our grounds at the high school. And any of you that know Kenny Blakeney, he is very meticulous, so that is a compliment well received.
Thank you, Vice Chair Strobel. I will make sure to pass that along to Coach Myers.
Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, no question, but I also want to give a shout out to Ms. Wallace. You constantly present new items for our students and share that information with the board, and that's very appreciated. And just so you know, my boys love the ribs, so keep the new things coming. They definitely enjoy eating at school.
Thank you, Ms. Wickham, for reminding us. And the meet and greet, they loved your lemonade and your cookies, and we appreciate you helping us with the meet and greet. The community was very appreciative, as well as staff that were here.
Yes, we loved you until we got on the scale. All right. Hearing no other questions, do I have a motion for number 10?
Chair Nixon, before the motion is made, I would just like to reiterate to parents who may be listening that Thursday is a half day of school. However, we encourage you to send your children to school on Thursday. I know that our schools, our principals, and their teams are working very hard to make sure that there's some fun activities that are happening that day. So please take advantage of that. We are also going to do something from the district level as well for the school that has the highest attendance. So we're just asking parents to make sure that your children are at school on Thursday. Thank you.
Ms. Williams, if I could echo that, I know a gentleman that went to have lunch with 3 of his lunch buddies, and at one school yesterday, all 3 of those little gentlemen were absent. So please, parents, your students are missing out when they're not at school.
Hearing no other announcements, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
It has been moved and properly second that we adjourn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we are adjourned.
Thank you, Alan.